Hello everyone, this is just a video to show off some of the weird physics going on with the new board gun that was just released into Boneworks. So for the first part we're going to be starting out here in the sandbox mode, and so I've unlocked the board gun through the new zombie warehouse mode. So you can see it just stitches boards across your environment, but what you can actually do is use your hand as one of the board points, and so you can see I just stuck a board up like that. Your hand kind of gets stuck. Sometimes you can pull your hand out of the board like you saw with the first one, but here it kind of get stuck and can't really get out, so you can see me kind of just kind of flailing around. You can just shoot the board and you'll reset just fine. But something I discovered pretty early on, which is kind of weird, is that if you stick a board out, sort of like you're about to see, you stick this board out, you use your hands, and you pull it off. What you can do is you can shoot the board and break it that's supporting the one in the air, and you'll actually get the board to float. And so that's kind of quirky. Here you can see that you can actually stitch the board to your torso, and so that will just kind of follow you around, sort of like your hand does. But here it actually gets something weird to happen. It somehow links onto my hand, and even though it's not actually attached to my hand, it's still just floating there with it, so I decided to use it to bludgeon this null body. And so there's a lot of weird floating business that can go on with it. Give it a little thumbs up. You can also attach boards to weapons, and so you see it'll just kind of stick up like that. And you can kind of use it as like a tripod, so you can gun down your foes like a pro. Here I stick another board to my hand, stick another one there, and so I don't know, there's some crazy stuff that happens. I get this board to float, then I stick another one in my hand, and then it breaks, but then I get this board with the freaking developer gun, and you can see it's still somehow linked to the other board that was on the ground, and even though I'm not controlling that board with the dev gun, it still launches around, which is just really strange board voodoo magic. That's what I call it. I call it wood voodoo because it's just so weird. Here you can see how strong the boards are. One board is enough to hold up this prop, and so you can just support it however many times you want. I kind of go crazy with the boards here, but whatever, it's up there. You can make a ladder. Before off screen I used that little tripod piece to stick up those vertical posts, and then I stuck the other boards across, and you can use it as a makeshift ladder, which is fun, I guess, if you like to be creative. But here's a bit more practical use of it. You can attach a board to the wall, and you can grip onto the sides to climb up. You can actually grab in the middle. You have to grip on the sides and you'll climb up. So this isn't actually that useful if you have like the gravity cups and stuff, but it can be useful in the zombie warehouse mode where you only have the board gun. And so you can drop right down. Here, I don't actually remember what I did. I attached it, oh right, here's the wood voodoo. I attached it to my hand. I put a point down and then attached it to the ground, but without letting go, I walked backwards. You can see me do the same thing there. I attach it to the turret and walk backwards before I let go, and you can see my hand still floats with the board. I can drag the turret around. Kind of strange. The turrets are the only things that you can actually attach boards to. Just as a side note, I do the same thing with this box right here. I click onto my hand, walk away, and then attach it to the box, and I drag the box around. It's just fun. You can you don't have to have force grab or anything, you just kind of pull the boxes around. You can also do the wood voodoo with your torso. You can see I linked it to my torso, and now it's following me around as I run and I jump. So it's like I have a little dude following me. But then I thought, what if I use the dev manipulator on it, and you can actually fly around and you kind of have this makeshift Nimbus gun if you don't have it. So you can do that with your torso, or I tried again here with my hand. I do the wood voodoo, and so you can see my hand is linked, and then I just use the dev manipulator on the board, and you can fly around. So if you have managed to unlock the utility gun and the wood gun before the Nimbus gun, you can just do that and fly around. Here you can see that I do the wood voodoo on the one that's going straight up, and I attach another board, but even though I break the first board, it's still linked to my hand, and so I can do a lot of weird interactions with that. Here I just do a fast floating board. I just use my hand as a board point twice, so that pops up there. This was a strange interaction. I had no idea how this happened, but I attached a board to my hand and it somehow linked with the trapezoid piece over there. I don't know if there was a wood piece attached to the trapezoid before that was voodoo linked or whatever, but somehow they linked together and then the board broke and I was sad. Here we can go into the zombie warehouse and see some different utility. I use the board gun to just make a board on my hand and use it as a zip line thing, which isn't really that helpful because you always have the crowbar and you can even use like different rifles to zip line, but I just thought that was a fun little feature. You can also use the board gun as a bridge maker, so I quickly bridge across these two containers and then you can use it to ramp up. You just have to be careful because if you're not directly in the center of the board when you start walking up, you'll fall off pretty easily, but you can see I'm able to easily escape that zombie and avoid having to use the ladder. Here I do that technique that you saw earlier where I'm using the boards to climb up the wall. And so you can actually get up to the rafters pretty easily, so you just do this board right here and you climb right up to the top, and then you're able to attach a board to the wall and then one to the rafters, like so, and then you can just climb across the board like that. Again, don't know why I don't know why you do this, but if you just want to go explore up there, you can. Just again, make sure to grab hold onto the sides or you will fall off very easily. But you can grab onto the rafters and look down to all your zombie friends who can't reach you. You can also attach guns to your hand, so I just attach the pistol to my hand, and I am not actually gripping it, but the gun is still attached, so if I want to shoot, I just have to grip and shoot like that, and it'll just stick to my hand. Here's a different idea. If you're out of inventory space and you want to collect collectibles, just attach one side of the board to the collectible and one to your torso, and you can just kind of have it go with you. The last three clips here are some weird interactions that happened with just random objects. Here you can see I attach it to my hand and then the knife and I guess the cinder block thing too, but for some reason the knife always wants to return to the block. You can see you can still force grab it and pull it far away, but it still just always wants to return to that one spot, which I don't know why that happened, but it did. Again, lots of weird things that I don't understand. That's kind of the moral of this story. Here, I originally was trying to do that thing again and attach the knife to my hand. You can see it's back to normal now, but somehow it's still linked. I used the wood voodoo on my hand and attached it to the ground, but the knife was still linked for some reason, and so both the board and the knife are linked to my hand somehow, and you can see it kind of flying around, really strange. Just a bunch of weird stuff. Here's the last clip. I attached the board to the knife and then the ground and walked away, and so the knife is now just kind of floating like a weird tetherball thing. You can force grab it and let go and it'll whip around, but it's just really weird how this stuff links together. I'm sure there's way more stuff that you can find out, but this is kind of the first interaction I have with the board gun. Yeah, just keep exploring with it because there's a lot of weird stuff that you can do, so just explore with attaching it to your hands and torso. So just go have fun out there. See ya.